In the world of legendary guitarists, few names shine brighter or burn more intensely than Jeff Beck. He wasn't just another player. He was a force of nature, a man who treated the guitar not as an instrument, but as a living, breathing extension of himself. But behind those jaw-dropping solos and explosive performances, Jeff had a secret passion, an obsession, really, with other musicians. He studied them, dissected their techniques, and sometimes even competed with them in silence. These were the 6 bands that completely consumed Jeff Beck's creative mind, shaping not only his style, but the very sound of rock and roll itself. Let's uncover them all, right here on Legend Uncovered. 1, The Shadows, and finally, at number 1, the band that started it all for Jeff Beck, The Shadows. Long before Clapton or Hendrix, there was Hank Marvin. And when young Jeff heard Apache for the first time on Radio Luxembourg in 1960, it changed his life forever. That tone or that melody, it was pure magic, he said years later. Hank Marvin's smooth, melodic phrasing showed Beck that emotion didn't need distortion or chaos. It needed feeling. Throughout his Yardbirds years, Beck carried that lesson everywhere. Bassist John Paul Jones remembered him saying during one session, "Tonight they'll see that a guitar can sing, even without a voice." Beck once summed it up beautifully. "Hank taught me that every note should mean something. That's what separates sound from music." For Jeff Beck, the Shadows were more than inspiration. They were the foundation of everything he became. 2. The Beatles at number 2. The Beatles. Not just a band, but a revolution. Beck's fascination began in 1966 when he first heard Revolver. He attended a listening session at Abbey Road, hosted by producer George Martin, and stayed until 3 a.m., analyzing every sound. "They're not just writing songs," he said. "They're building soundscapes." Beck admired how they used the studio as an instrument, layering, looping, reversing, and sculpting sound in ways no one had imagined. When Beck recorded Beck-Ola at Abbey Road in 1968, he constantly asked engineers how the Beatles created their effects. He told his band, "Some musicians play, but the great ones sculpt." To him, the Beatles proved that music didn't have to follow rules. It just had to make you feel something real. 3. King Crimson number 3 takes us into the world of experimental madness. King Crimson. When Beck first heard In the Court of the Crimson King in 1969, he was stunned. A roadie once recalled Jeff saying, "These guys took all the safety out of rock. Every chord change feels like walking off a cliff." He became obsessed with their complexity, especially Robert Fripp's precise mathematical guitar work. In 1972, Beck even approached Fripp to discuss a possible collaboration. Fripp declined politely, saying, "Jeff's a master of emotion, but our music is built on control." That rejection hit Beck hard. He spent the next year studying advanced music theory, determined to understand how to fuse feeling with structure. King Crimson showed him that real mastery lies not just in emotion, but in the balance between chaos and discipline. 4. The Yardbirds. At number 4, we come to the Yardbirds, not just another band for Jeff Beck, but a defining chapter in his life. Before joining them, Beck watched the Yardbirds perform with Clapton in 1963. He left the show and said to a friend, "That's what I want to do, in fact only louder, faster, and stranger." When he finally joined in 1965, everything changed. Beck's creativity turned the band upside down. He introduced distortion, feedback, and effects that no one had ever dared use before. He once told Melody Maker, "It felt like inheriting a race car that was ready to fly. You respect the engine, but you still want to push it to the limit." Beck's time with the Yardbirds cemented his identity, not just as a replacement for Clapton, but as a revolutionary who would inspire both Jimmy Page and Jimi Hendrix in the years to come. 5. Cream coming in at number 5. The legendary supergroup Cream, featuring Eric Clapton, Jack Bruce, and Ginger Baker. Jeff replaced Clapton in the Yardbirds around the same time Cream was born in 1966. Naturally, comparisons between the two guitarists followed everywhere he went. And Beck didn't hold back. He once said, "Clapton's got the volume, but he's missing the finesse. Power without precision is just noise." It wasn't hatred, it was rivalry, healthy, sharp-edged rivalry. Both men were redefining, the blues pushing the genre to its limits and forcing each other to evolve. Years later, Beck admitted he respected Cream deeply. When the band split in 1968, he said, "Eric finally figured out when to stop. You have to play with purpose, not just loudness." Cream taught Jeff an important lesson. Sometimes, to understand subtlety, you first have to go through chaos.
Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon.